Sarah stood frozen in the middle of the busy store, her heart pounding like a drum. Her boss, Mr. Grimm, towered over her with a red face and angry eyes. "You're fired!" he shouted so loud that everyone stopped shopping and stared. Sarah's hands shook as she held the wallet she had just found, a thick, black leather one stuffed with $100 bills. She had done the right thing, she thought. She had turned it in to the lost and found, hoping the owner would be happy. But now, her job was gone. Tears welled up in her eyes as Mr. Grimm snatched her name tag off her shirt. "Get out now," he barked. Sarah stumbled toward the door, the wallet's cash flashing in her mind. Why was this happening? What had she done wrong? As she pushed open the exit, a strange man in a dark coat watched her from the shadows, his smile cold and knowing. And just like that, her world flipped upside down. But let's go back to how it all started. It was a sunny Monday morning in the small town of Maplewood. Sarah was 28 years old, with curly brown hair and a big smile that made customers feel welcome. She worked at Grimm's Grocery, the biggest store in town. It wasn't her dream job. She wanted to be a teacher someday, but it paid the bills for her and her little dog, Max. Sarah lived in a tiny apartment with peeling paint, and every penny counted. She was always honest, the kind of person who would pick up a penny on the sidewalk and say, "Finders, keepers? No, that's not right." That day, Sarah arrived at work early, like always. She put on her green apron and started stacking apples in the fruit section. The store was quiet at first, just a few old ladies buying bread and milk. Mr. Grimm was in his office, counting money as usual. He was a grumpy man with a mustache that looked like a caterpillar, and he never said thank you. But Sarah didn't mind. She loved helping people. As the morning went on, more shoppers came in. Sarah helped the mom find baby food and chatted with the boy about his favorite candy. Then, around noon, she noticed something shiny on the floor near the checkout counters. It was a wallet, black and fancy, half hidden under a shelf. Her heart skipped a beat. She picked it up carefully, like it was a treasure. Peeking inside, she saw ID cards, credit cards, and a huge stack of cash. At least $1,000. "Wow," she whispered. "Someone must be so worried right now." Sarah thought about what to do. She could keep it. No one had seen her find it. With that money, she could fix her leaky roof or buy new shoes for winter. But no, that wasn't her. Honesty is the best policy, her mom always said. So, she walked straight to the lost and found box behind the counter. She wrote a note, "Found near checkout. Hope the owner comes back soon," and dropped it in. She felt good inside, like she had done something heroic. The afternoon dragged on with the usual tasks, mopping a spill, restocking shelves. Sarah hummed a tune, dreaming about her future. But then, a rich-looking man rushed into the store, his face pale. "I lost my wallet," he cried. "Has anyone seen it?" Sarah smiled and pointed to the lost and found. "Mister," Grimm came out, checked the box, and handed it over. The man counted the cash quickly, his eyes wide. "It's all here. Thank you so much." He shook Mr. Grimm's hand and left a big tip in the jar. Sarah beamed with pride. But as the man left, Mr. Grimm turned to her with a strange look. "You found that wallet, didn't you?" he asked, his voice low. Sarah nodded happily. "Yes, sir. I turned it in right away." Mr. Grimm's eyes narrowed. "Come to my office after your shift," he said coldly. Sarah's stomach twisted. What was wrong? Had she made a mistake? The rest of the day felt endless. Customers came and went, but Sarah's mind raced. Why did Mr. Grimm seem upset? She replayed the moment in her head, picking up the wallet, checking it quickly, putting it away, nothing bad. As closing time neared, she clocked out and knocked on his door. "Enter," he grumbled. Inside, the office was dim and stuffy. Mr. Grimm sat behind his desk, the wallet open in front of him. Wait, why did he have it again? The owner had taken it. Sarah's confusion grew. "Sit down," he ordered. She did, her hands fidgeting. "You returned this wallet full of cash," he said slowly. "But I know the truth." Sarah blinked. "What truth?" "I did return it, mister." Grimm leaned forward, his voice a whisper. "I saw you take something out before you turned it in. You're a thief." Sarah's world spun. "No, I didn't." But before she could explain, the door burst open. The strange man in the dark coat stepped in, holding a badge. "Police," he said. "We need to talk about this wallet and the secret inside it." Sarah's heart raced as the man in the dark coat flashed his police badge. His eyes were sharp, like a hawk watching its prey. "I'm Detective Harris," he said, his voice calm but firm. "This wallet you found, Sarah, has more to it than just cash." Sarah's mouth went dry. She glanced at Mr. Grimm, who was smirking behind his desk. The wallet sat open, its cash and cards spilling out like a puzzle she didn't understand. "What's going on?" she asked, her voice small. Detective Harris didn't answer. Instead, he pulled out a small plastic bag with something shiny inside a tiny gold key. "This was in the wallet," he said. "Care to explain why you took it out before turning it in?" Sarah's eyes widened. "I didn't take anything, I swear." But the room felt like it was closing in, and Mr. Grimm's smirk grew wider. What was happening? How did she go from being a hero to being accused of stealing? Let's rewind a bit. After Sarah turned in the wallet, the day had seemed normal. She went back to stacking cans and helping customers, but a weird feeling stuck with her. She kept thinking about the wallet, how heavy it felt, how much cash was inside. She hadn't counted it, but it looked like more money than she'd ever seen. Still, she pushed the thought away. She'd done the right thing, and that was enough. Or so she thought. Around lunchtime, Sarah noticed a new customer. He was a man in a dark coat, lingering near the candy aisle but not buying anything. He kept glancing at her, his face hard to read. Sarah thought he might be a secret shopper, someone Mr. Grimm hired to check if employees were working hard. She smiled at him, but he didn't smile back. Instead, he scribbled something in a small notebook and walked away. "Weird," Sarah muttered, shrugging it off. She had no idea he was watching her every move. Later, when the rich-looking man came to claim his wallet, Sarah felt proud. He was so happy, thanking everyone and leaving a $50 tip in the jar. Mr. Grimm took the wallet from the lost and found and handed it over, acting like he was the hero. Sarah didn't care, she wasn't looking for praise, but she noticed Mr. Grimm slipped the wallet into his pocket instead of giving it straight to the man. That seemed odd. Why didn't he hand it over right away? She didn't ask though. Mr. Grimm hated questions. As the day went on, Sarah's coworker, Jenny, pulled her aside. Jenny was older, with gray hair and a kind smile, like a favorite aunt. "You found that wallet, didn't you?" she whispered. Sarah nodded. "Be careful, Sarah. Mr. Grimm's been acting strange. I saw him in his office, looking through that wallet before the owner came." Sarah frowned. "What do you mean?" Jenny leaned closer. "I don't know, but he was muttering about something valuable, not just the cash." Sarah's stomach twisted again. Was Mr. Grimm up to something? The hours ticked by, and Sarah couldn't shake the uneasy feeling. She kept busy, sweeping the floors and helping the old man carry his groceries. But every time she passed Mr. Grimm's office, she felt his eyes on her. Once, she caught him talking to the man in the dark coat outside the store. They were whispering, and Mr. Grimm looked nervous. Sarah told herself it was nothing, but her heart wouldn't calm down. When her shift ended, She went to Mr. Grimm's office, expecting a quick chat. Maybe he'd thank her for being honest. Instead, he accused her of stealing. And now, here was Detective Harris, holding a tiny gold key that Sarah had never seen before. This key, the detective said, unlocks something very important. The owner says it was in the wallet when he lost it, but when we checked, it was gone until we found it in your locker, Sarah. My locker? Sarah gasped. I didn't put anything there. She looked at Mr. Grimm, who wouldn't meet her eyes. Someone's lying, she said, her voice shaking. I turned in the wallet exactly how I found it. Detective Harris raised an eyebrow. Then why was this key in your locker? And why did Mr. Grimm see you acting suspicious near the lost and found? Sarah's mind raced. She remembered checking the wallet quickly before turning it in just to see the ID and make sure it was safe. Had someone seen her and thought she took something? Or worse, had someone planted the key? She thought of Jenny's warning about Mr. Grimm. Was he setting her up? But why? What was so special about that key? Detective Harris stepped closer. Sarah, you're in big trouble. This key is linked to something dangerous. If you're honest, maybe we can help you. But if you're lying, he didn't finish the sentence, but his eyes said enough. Sarah felt tears sting her eyes. She was no thief! But the evidence was against her, and Mr. Grimm was nodding like he caught her red-handed. Just then, Jenny poked her head into the office. Sarah, wait! I found something, she said, holding a crumpled piece of paper. I saw Mr. Grimm drop this in the trash. It's about that wallet. Sarah's heart leaped. Was this proof she was innocent? But before Jenny could say more, Mr. Grimm jumped up, his face red. Get out, Jenny! You're fired too! The room fell silent. Detective Harris grabbed the paper from Jenny's hand, his eyes narrowing as he read it. Well, well, he said. This changes everything. Sarah's breath caught in her throat as Detective Harris unfolded the crumpled paper Jenny had found. His eyes scanned it quickly, and his face hardened. This is a receipt, he said, holding it up, for a safe deposit box dated yesterday. And it has your name on it, Mr. Grimm. Sarah's jaw dropped. Mr. Grimm's face turned pale, his caterpillar mustache twitching. That's nonsense, he sputtered, snatching at the paper. But Detective Harris held it out of reach. Sarah's mind spun. A safe deposit box? Was that what the tiny gold key unlocked? She looked at Jenny, who was trembling but standing tall. I knew something was wrong, Jenny whispered. I saw him sneak that key out of the wallet before the owner came. Sarah's heart pounded. Was Mr. Grimm the real thief? But before anyone could speak, Detective Harris's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, and his eyes widened. The owner's back, he said. And he's got a story about that key you won't believe. Sarah's stomach flipped. What secret was about to unravel? Let's step back a bit. After Mr. Grimm called Sarah to his office and accused her of stealing, the air had felt heavy, like a storm was coming. Sarah had been so confused, her hands shaking as she tried to defend herself. She'd never seen that gold key before, and the idea that it was in her locker made no sense. She hadn't even opened her locker all day. But Mr. Grimm's cold stare and Detective Harris's questions made her feel trapped, like a mouse in a cage. Earlier, after Jenny warned her about Mr. Grimm acting strange, Sarah had started noticing little things, like how Mr. Grimm kept going to the back room, where the lost and found box was, even when no one was looking. Once, she saw him slip something small and shiny into his pocket. She thought it was a coin or a button, but now she wondered, could it have been the key? And why was he so quick to blame her? Sarah's mind raced back to the rich-looking man who owned the wallet. He'd been so happy to get it back, but he hadn't mentioned the key. Did he even know it was missing? As the day went on, Sarah had tried to focus on work, but her nerves were on edge. She kept catching glimpses of the man in the dark coat. Detective Harris, she now knew watching her from across the store. Once, she saw him talking to Mr. Grimm outside, their heads close together like they were sharing a secret. Sarah had wanted to ask Jenny more about what she'd seen, but Mr. Grimm kept them both busy with extra tasks, like he was trying to keep them apart. Now, in the dim office, the receipt in Detective Harris's hand felt like a lifeline. Sarah's hope flickered. "What does it say?" she asked, her voice shaky. Detective Harris read aloud, "Safe deposit box rental, First Maplewood Bank, paid by Victor Grimm." Sarah gasped. "That was Mr. Grimm's first name." Jenny nodded. "I found it in the trash by his desk. I knew he was hiding something." Mr. Grimm slammed his fist on the desk. "This is a setup. I don't know anything about a safe deposit box." But his voice cracked and sweat beaded on his forehead. Detective Harris crossed his arms. "Then why does this receipt have your name? And why was the key in Sarah's locker? Unless someone planted it." Sarah's heart leaped. Planted? Did that mean someone was framing her? She looked at Mr. Grimm, whose eyes darted to the door like he wanted to run. I, he stammered, but no excuse came out. Just then, the office door swung open. The rich-looking man, the wallet's owner, stood there, his face grim. "I need to talk about that key," he said. "It's not just about money. It unlocks something dangerous." Sarah's skin prickled. Dangerous? What had she stumbled into? The man stepped inside, his eyes locking on Mr. Grimm. "I know who you are," he said, pointing. "And I know you tried to steal it." Sarah's mind raced. Steal what? Was the key more important than the cash? She remembered how heavy the wallet felt, how Mr. Grimm had handled it so carefully. Had he known about the key all along? Jenny grabbed Sarah's arm, whispering, "I told you he was up to no good." Detective Harris held up a hand. "Everyone, slow down. Let's hear the whole story." The rich man nodded, pulling out a photo from his pocket. It showed a small, locked box with strange symbols carved on it. "This key," he said, "opens that box. And what's inside could ruin a lot of people." Sarah's heart thudded. Ruin people? What was in that box? She looked at Mr. Grimm, who was now shaking. "I didn't do anything," he shouted, but his voice sounded desperate. Detective Harris turned to Sarah. "You returned the wallet, but you're not off the hook yet. If you know anything about this key, now's the time to talk." Sarah shook her head. "I don't. I just found the wallet and turned it in." But the rich man's eyes narrowed. "Then why did someone see you near my car this morning?" Sarah froze. His car? She hadn't been near any car. Before she could speak, a loud crash came from outside the office. Everyone turned as a shelf in the store toppled over and a shadowy figure sprinted toward the exit. "Stop them!" Detective Harris yelled, bolting out the door. Sarah stood frozen in the chaotic office, her heart pounding like a drum. The crash from the store still echoed in her ears, and Detective Harris was already halfway out the door, shouting, "Don't let them get away." The wallet's owner, a man named Mr. Carver, grabbed Mr. Grimm's arm, his face fierce. "You know who that was, don't you?" he growled. Mr. Grimm yanked free, his eyes wild. "I don't know anything," he yelled, but his voice shook like a leaf in a storm. Sarah's mind raced. Who was that shadowy figure? And why was everyone pointing fingers at her? Jenny tugged her sleeve, whispering, "We need to get out of here, Sarah. Something's not right." But before they could move, Mr. Carver turned to Sarah, his eyes narrowing. "You're not going anywhere until you tell me why you were near my car." Sarah's stomach dropped. "I wasn't," she cried, but a chilling thought hit her. Had someone set her up even more than she realized? Let's go back a few hours. After Sarah turned in the wallet, she noticed Mr. Grimm acting stranger than usual. He kept locking his office door, which he never did, and once she saw him on the phone, whispering so fast she couldn't catch the words. She'd also seen Mr. Carver's fancy black car parked outside the store when she arrived that morning. It had shiny rims and tinted windows, like something from a movie. She'd walked past it on her way in, but that was it. She hadn't touched it or gone near it again. Now, Mr. Carver's accusation made her head spin. Was someone lying about seeing her, or was it a mistake? Back in the office, the air was thick with tension. Detective Harris stormed back in, out of breath. "They got away," he said, his face red. "But I saw their car, a blue van, no plates. Someone's covering their tracks." He glared at Mr. Grimm. "Care to explain why a receipt for a safe deposit box with your name was in the trash?" Mr. Grimm's hands shook. "It's not mine. Someone's framing me." Sarah's eyes widened. Framing him? That's what she thought about herself. She glanced at Jenny, who was clutching the edge of the desk, her face pale. "Sarah," Jenny whispered, "I heard Mr. Grimm on the phone earlier. He said something about getting rid of her and keeping the key safe. I thought he meant you." Sarah's heart skipped. Was Mr. Grimm planning to blame her all along? She looked at Mr. Carver, who was pacing now, holding the photo of the strange box with symbols. "That key," he said, his voice low, "unlocks a box with documents. Documents that could expose the big secret names, dates, deals. People would do anything to keep it hidden." Sarah's mind flashed to the shadowy figure who ran. Was that person after the key too? Or were they working with Mr. Grimm? Detective Harris pulled out his notebook. "Sarah, walk me through it again. You found the wallet, looked inside, and turned it in. Did you see the key?" Sarah shook her head. "No, just cash and cards. I didn't take anything." Mr. Carver frowned. "Then why did my driver say he saw a woman matching your description by my car this morning, looking inside?" Sarah's blood ran cold. "I walked past it, but I didn't stop." "Someone's lying." Jenny stepped forward. "I saw Sarah all morning. She was inside the store, working. Whoever your driver saw, it wasn't her." Mr. Grimm suddenly bolted for the door, shoving past Jenny. "I'm not staying for this," he shouted. Detective Harris grabbed his arm. "You're not going anywhere, Grimm. Not until we check that safe deposit box." Sarah's eyes widened. "The bank. If they open the box, would it prove her innocence? Or would it make things worse?" Mr. Carver's phone rang, and he answered it, his face darkening. "They found the blue van," he said, hanging up. "It's parked at the bank, and someone's trying to open my box right now." Sarah's heart raced. Whoever was at the bank had the key or a copy. Was it a shadowy figure or someone else? Detective Harris grabbed his radio. "We're heading to the bank. Sarah, you're coming with us. If you're telling the truth, you'll help us catch the real thief." Sarah nodded, her knees weak. As they rushed out, she saw Mr. Grimm whispering to someone on his phone, his eyes darting to her. Was he warning someone? At the bank's entrance, a security guard lay on the ground, groaning, and the vault door was ajar. Detective Harris drew his gun. "Stay behind me," he whispered. Sarah's heart pounded as they stepped inside, the vault's cold air hitting her face. Then a voice echoed from the shadows. "You're too late."